And shout out to the After Pill. He's making some great material. I love the channel, and we're sort of doing his sort of style platform today. Just a little tribute. It's a great channel, and we're pursuing the same goal here, which is getting you free. So, what is your freedom number? Do you know what your freedom number is? And this channel, we call it the Libertarian Investor, but it's less about politics than it is about freedom in your own life. And I might change the name of the channel for people to better understand that. We might call it the Sovereign Investor. We mix a lot of these modalities, but the whole point of the channel is getting you free from a job and a boss. And that's why we go into the news a lot. If you've been following the news just over the last few years with AI and so on, again, I don't believe that AI it's going to be a game changer, but I don't think it's going to be as huge a game changer as they're saying. But be that as it may, many jobs are going to be at risk, and it wouldn't matter if they were at risk. Most of these jobs are meaningless and they're not worth working. And I think if you're watching this channel, you know that. You know that there's something more. You know that it's not your destiny to just keep working for a job and a boss. You know that it's your destiny to be free, to be sovereign. And the first step to freedom is when you decide what your new life is going to look like. And I'm going to make a video, especially for this channel. I made one for my other channel. It's basically called Prompt Engineering the Universe. You can see the universe like a chatbot, an AI chatbot. And one of the best skills to learn these days is how to actually ask questions so that you get an adequate answer, so that the chatbot is serving you. And pretty soon, so that the AI agents are serving you. It's called prompt engineering. How to frame your question. And we've got to do the same thing with the universe. How do we frame our wishes to the universe so that serendipity occurs, so that your intuition is allowed to hone in to those possibilities that it otherwise wouldn't see? And for those of you who know about the reticular activating system, this is all part of investing, guys. A lot of people might think this is woo-woo. This is all part of being a good investor. If you just look at things like the biography of George Soros and other great investors, how Warren Buffett conducts his research, how people like Jim Rogers, who we've interviewed many times on this channel, you can watch the interviews with him on this channel, he also has processes by which he hones his intuition. And again, the way to do that is learning how to prompt engineer the universe. So your first step to freedom is figuring out your freedom number. And the first time I was exposed to this thought device, if you want to call it that, or thought tool explicitly was when I was in my 20s. Tony Robbins, the great motivational speaker, wrote a book called Money Master the Game. And there are a lot of good principles in that book. Don't agree with everything, but it is a good blueprint for getting started in the markets. And the first chapter, that started talking about how to design your new life, he talked about when he would go to seminars, he would ask people, okay, what's your number? And the person would say $1 billion. Then he would start to ask, okay, what is it that you want? And the person would say, oh, I want, a private jet, a private island. Basically what they did was they whittled this stuff down. Okay, you don't need a private island. You could just as well visit someone else's island and have just as much as fun. You're looking for experiences. You don't have to take a private jet. You can charter a jet. And the whole point is making this number smaller. You don't need as much as you think you need. And the smaller that number is, of course, in just the normal workaday world, the less time it's going to take to reach that number. And so you don't lose hope. And so you don't lose focus. So what I want you to do probably over the next week is sit down and figure out what your number is. What is that number to where you can just be completely financially independent and walk out on your boss? And I'd recommend this to be a net worth number, but more importantly, I'd recommend this to be a monthly income number, because a lot of times you can generate more income through investments, through what we teach on this channel, with a smaller net worth than you think. Do you have to be a millionaire? Do you have to be a multimillionaire? For most of you, the answer is probably no. But the reason we do all of these makeshifts and tools and these calculations is not because you're going to get to exactly that number, that you have to get stuck on that number. Yeah, of course, you have to be able to allow yourself to get a lot more. And your right brain can and will guide you to a lot more wealth. But what it's there for is to silence your left brain, because your left brain, its job is to protect the physical you and also to protect your ego. So if it thinks you're not going to be able to do something, it dissuades you from even focusing on that thing, and then you give up. So to silence the left brain, what you do is you come up with this number. What I want you to do is I want you to sit down and just imagine for a while. Imagine what your perfect day would be like, what your schedule would be like, what that would entail, what your month would be like, what vacations you want to go on, where you want to live, the house you want to live. Now I want you to do a little research, and with AI, this is going to be easy peasy. Say, okay, this house, with 4 bedrooms, what would be the cost of that? What would be the cost per month? What would a mortgage be like? Really use the AI to give you concrete numbers. And once you have a concrete number per month, here's the fun part. Start whittling it down. Do I really need a 6-bedroom house? How much is it even going to cost to cool that house? What we're trying to do on this channel is to give you experiences, not necessarily things. Things are not always necessary to have the experience. What you want is, here's the main life principle that you want to live by. You want to be able to do whatever you want when you want. You want to be able to wake up when you want. You want to be able to say, I'm not going to work today. I am going to work today. You want to have passive income. And you want that to be able to sustain a life that you're happy living. And a lot of us can be happy with a lot less. That's the beauty of minimalism. If you've not researched minimalism, look into it. There are a lot of communities. And basically, the less stuff you have, it's scientifically correlated to being more fulfilled, being more happy. It's about relationships. It's about experiences. It's about living free. It's about being sovereign. And on this channel, we want to help you get sovereign as quickly as possible. I believe, like my friend Gerald Peters says, anyone, guys, in the United States or in a Western country, probably even more in a foreign country. We need to talk about that too. Do you want to live in the United States, or do you want to live in a country that's a lot cheaper? It's going to go into a lot of these discussions. But anyone can get financially free within the next 7 to 10 years. Now, a lot of us, especially those of us who are getting older, are going to say, my God, that sounds horrible. For a lot of you, the left brain will talk you in to giving up. But it's not going to take that long, guys. It doesn't have to take that long. Why? Because your right brain is going to deliver you investment opportunities that are going to multiply your wealth. But you won't be able to do that unless you take the first step. And all of this is about taking the next step. There's a very simple exercise, and it's taught by Peter Sage and others, is that you get perfectly calm, ladies and gentlemen. And I did this recently with a new stock that I'm going into, GIL, or Gildan Activewear. I'm going to make another video on it, but just breathe deeply. This is not woo-woo, this is physiology, guys. This is science. Breathe deeply and get completely calm. And then just ask your inner being, ask the universe, what's the next step I need to take right now to becoming wealthy? And listen for it. A lot of times it'll give it to you then. A lot of times you will be delivered that step as you're going about your daily life. But there's always one step, and all you have to do is take that next step. Many self-help books and psychological books talk about this. You don't have to have the whole plan, although you can make a master plan, but always be prepared to discard that plan, because what you want to do is allow for serendipity, is to allow for intuition, but have that next step. And right now, your next step is to decide what life you would like. Allow yourself 7 to 10 years to get there. Why? Because that takes the pressure off. It's not going to take that long. If it does, it's okay. You're going to enjoy the journey, but allow yourself that time and then figure out how much you need right now to live that life that you love. Whittle down at it. We're going to make more videos about specifically how to do this. Use the AI, guys. It's free, ChatGPT or Claude, to deliver you these numbers. Then you will have your freedom number, and then you will know what the next step is you need to take for financial freedom. Guys, if you enjoy this material, please do like the video, subscribe and like to the channel. We're a community of people that are dedicated to being sovereign, that are dedicated to getting free from a job and a boss. It pisses me off that we're in 2026 and people still have to work jobs. My job is to change that and to get as many people as possible free from that grid, living free, being able to live your own life. It's time, ladies and gentlemen. So thank you so much for watching. Subscribe to the channel, like the videos, and I'll see you next time.